Welcome back to the Abundance Alchemist, your quiet space to remember who you are. Tonight we speak softly about manifestation without struggle, easing into abundance through nighttime neural repatterning. Not as a goal to chase, but as something your soul already recognizes. Maybe there's a part of you that's tired of chasing, of bright fixes and silent disappointments, a part that wonders if effort has ever been the true way home. Let your body exhale here, just a little. What if you've never actually been broken? What if your softness was the wealth all along? Notice how the blankets embrace you now, not as armor but as a remembering, not as protection, but as a gentle return. Do you feel how the world softens in the quiet, how even your oldest wishes become tender again under night's hush? Maybe abundance isn't something to push toward, but something that eases closer the more you soften. Every dream you carry, each longing you've tucked beneath your ribs, they aren't evidence of lack, but proof you are alive and receptive. What if nothing is missing from you except the belief that you must earn what already belongs to you? Can you sense the difference between clutching and allowing, between running toward joy and letting it walk at your side? There are truths that only come out in the dark, after urgency slides off the day and you realize that stillness is its own form of courage. So as you rest, let these questions settle like gentle rain. If tonight you could give yourself the gift of ease, would you take it? If abundance felt like trust instead of struggle, could you let your body believe it? It's enough to simply listen, letting your cells remember a softer way to receive. Stay as sleep draws near. Let these words linger at the gates of your becoming. Let the night rework the stories beneath your skin. Abundance isn't rushing to meet you. It's been whispering your name the whole time. There's a place inside that aches, not with a sharp pain, not with the sting of something traumatic, but the faint, persistent ache of life lived with a certain pressure, quietly sitting on your chest. Maybe it began the first time you saw someone else grip against the current, told yourself this was the normal way wealth is held. Knuckles white, brow furrowed, heart curled in and tight. Maybe the ache is soft because it's always been there, woven into the way you speak about yourself, the way you wait for permission to breathe out. It's strange how the world taught the soul that to have is to labor, and to receive is to prove. Each day the voices around you whisper the story. Work harder, hold more, become someone who deserves it. Over time, the body learns to brace itself, chest rising half a breath at a time. Even in sleep, you press your hands against the ache, hoping it will soften. There is this quiet tension between wanting so much to let go and believing that loosening your grip means it all slips away. Your mind remembers every subtle way you tried to earn your own enoughness. Maybe you woke at dawn with a silent mantra. If I just try a little more, maybe then. If I hold myself tighter, maybe then. The ache isn't loud, but it's relentless, like a song played out of sight. Sometimes, when no one is watching, you let yourself wonder if it's possible to rest, if wealth could come without the cost of yourself. You look at the people who move with ease and wonder if they know a secret, if softness is a language you once spoke but briefly forgot. Maybe the ache is a seed planted long ago. Maybe it's not even yours. But it hums all the same, a reminder that somewhere inside, effort became the price for belonging, and even when you crave freedom, your cells remember the weight of trying. So sometimes the quiet in your chest grows loud at night, a hush, an ache, almost like longing or remembering. There's a small, insistent pull behind your ribs, awake even when the world is sleeping. It wonders if wealth could be as simple as breathing, as safe as the dark holding you now. Is it possible that your wanting was never greedy, just ancient? Something that began long before you knew the words for softness and safety. So something that rises now, gentle as breath, gentle as dawn, asking to be known and seen, not fixed. You notice how desire isn't a shout in your life, more like a hum, barely heard but ever present. It threads through errands and silence, through the choices you almost make. And sometimes, it's easy to believe desire means something is missing, but maybe it's the evidence that nothing has ever truly left you. Right now, your body remembers how it feels to open, then close, searching for the kind of prosperity that doesn't require hardening. The world wants speed, wants proof and hustle and edges. But you ache for ease, for a wholeness that can't be earned because it already belongs to you. The longing isn't wrong. It's where your truth lives. It's where you remember that wealth and ease could be a birthright, not a conquest. Listen, the voice within you is quiet, but it is clear. It never demands, only invites. What if nothing needs to be forced? What if your softness, your wanting, the hush in your bones, what if this is what prosperity sounds like in the dark? This ache, this desire for easeful abundance, it's not about fixing or changing who you are. It's not about more effort or better plans. It is a homecoming, silent as midnight rain. Maybe the boldest thing you could do is let yourself want, with gentle hands and an open heart, as if you already trusted that you are safe, even here, even now, asking for more. There is a quiet place, almost hidden, where the mind tiptoes when all the world falls away. It's that hush between heartbeats, when the body remembers what it's learned, and what it fears to name out loud. Here, beneath polite explanations and practiced smiles, another truth waits. The hush that comes when abundance whispers, and your skin bristles at the thought of being fully seen, fully found out, fully visible against the night sky. Maybe you remember the ache, not just for more, but for safety with the more. The old story where abundance was a spotlight, and inside that light was risk, the fear of hands reaching, eyes watching, the chill of exposure where you might be envied or left behind. Maybe, deep down, it's the quiet thread of wondering if everyone could still love you if they saw you bloom, if having more means belonging less. Sometimes the mind builds tiny walls, not to keep abundance out, but to keep the night air from reaching the most tender parts of you. Isn't it strange how we ache for fullness and fear it at once? How plenty can taste like possibility and danger at the same time, like standing at the edge of a warm-lit room but not daring to cross. There are pieces of you soft as moss, hidden in plain sight. They remember small betrayals, glances that stung, times you shone a little too bright and met silence instead of arms wide open. A fear of abundance is clever. It hides in longing, disguises itself as caution, and sometimes pretends to be satisfied with less when the ache for more burns quietly under your ribs. It tells small stories. If I have too much, will I lose the comfort of being needed? If I let the world see my light, will someone reach for it with empty hands or careless words? Sometimes it's not about lack at all, but a hidden fear that belonging and blooming could ever live together. You learned to move gently, to hide hope beneath humility, to make yourself small in rooms that rewarded just enough. It's not shameful to crave quiet over applause, or to wonder if opening brings as much safety as it does joy. In the hush of night, old armor feels reasonable, almost holy. But the heart knows, the wanting isn't a flaw. The ache for abundance is not a betrayal of belonging. Somewhere inside, you remain whole enough to hold both. There's a hum underneath everything, old as rain, quiet as a pulse. A familiar ache that lives behind your eyes, in the soft spot between breaths. The mind calls it working hard, but the body knows it as the urge to run, to chase, to do just a little more, to reach for one last answer. It's the silent scramble beneath calm surfaces, the never quiet calculation, am I safe yet? Is there enough? Am I enough? Sometimes the chase is subtle, a quickening in the heart when a bill lands, the small, sharp jolt that says move, fix, earn, try. Sometimes it's all-consuming, looping thoughts running laps all night. Maybe tonight, in the hush between footsteps, you notice how much of your life is spent running toward a finish line that keeps moving farther away. How financial safety becomes a horizon, seen but never quite reached. You've learned to measure comfort by how tired you are at the end of the day, as though effort itself is the proof you've earned rest. Maybe somewhere the rules settled in. If I just hustle a little longer, maybe then the ground will stop shaking. Maybe then I can breathe, unclench, fall into palms that feel like home. There are moments when even joy tastes like a transaction. When every laugh comes with a quick check, do I deserve this? Every rest feels rationed, borrowed against tomorrow's labor. The habit hides inside gestures so familiar you barely notice them. Double-checking, overpromising, repairs made to cracks that never truly break. Isn't it strange how love for your own safety, so natural, can turn exhausting? And beneath it all, a whisper, tired of fixing, tired of proving, tired of running, wondering if beneath the noise of doing and trying exists something softer. Wondering if what you've chased was not security, but permission to stop running at all. If the wealth you crave isn't locked away in effort, but waiting for you in the exhale, in the moment you remember you're already safe, already whole, just as you are. There is a place within you that has always known, even as the world taught you to strive, to tighten, to count every little way you'd proven yourself worthy of comfort or beauty. There was somewhere quiet, deep in the fabric of your being, that refused to keep score. It waited, patient, like sun-warming stone. Like roots holding earth, you were born with hands wide open, unclenched, unscarred by the ache of grasping. There was a time, maybe not so long ago, when you took for granted that being alive meant being given to. Every breath was a gift. Every small joy was an arrival, somewhere, along the long walk from childhood's wide-awake morning to the grown-up world's tangled dusk. The idea crept in that you had to prove yourself first. That goodness had to be earned. That abundance was a high branch, only for the deserving. But what if allowance is your birthright? What if receiving is not a skill, but your soul's original language? So sometimes the greatest courage is rediscovering how to soften open, to let blessings fall as easy as rain, and not apologize for the green that grows where they land. It matters, more than the mind can say. Because when you stop bracing yourself against life, when you surrender the secret tension that you might be left out, or asked to go without, or measured against standards that have nothing to do with your heart, something ancient within you exhales. The body remembers home. The spirit uncurls, and the world starts to feel gentle again. It is like standing by the ocean, noticing how the tide never needs to justify its return. It simply comes over and over, bringing shells and salt and unpromised treasure to your feet. Like the shade of a tree you didn't plant, that welcomes you in the center of a hot afternoon, like the soft comfort of laughter in a room where no one expects you to be anything but yourself. These are not prizes for the perfect. They arrive because that's what abundance does. It finds the open places, the unguarded spaces where you're willing to let go of striving. Let yourself receive. Let yourself remember the way it felt before you thought you had anything to prove. Abundance belongs to you. Not because you have earned it, but because you have always been a place it longs to call home. There's a hush that comes when the inner world is allowed to exhale, when there isn't a demand to perform or prove or press forward. I flow, that gentle pulse of being carried by something quiet and alive, only ever visits where the ground underneath feels steady enough to rest upon. It's the nature of rivers to meander, to pool in hidden places when the earth opens up softly. It's the way petals open only at their own tempo, safe beneath morning light. It's easy to trace the old patterns. The ones that tell us safety lives in accomplishment, in the closing of loops, in keeping everyone else comfortable. Sometimes, maybe even most times, the moment the world takes its eyes away, an entire nervous system sighs in relief. Maybe that's the body's way of remembering. The pressure never made you move with grace. It only taught you to run from the parts of yourself still tender. Flow doesn't bloom because the stakes are high, but because the soul knows it's not being watched for mistakes. Imagine if real safety was never meant to be given by others, if it was only ever an inside permission, a quiet nod to self saying, "Whatever I bring tonight, whatever shape my energy takes, is welcome." There is a wealth that rises in rooms no one is measuring. Sometimes, true freedom is felt in the soft closing of the door behind you, the click of privacy giving way to a world where nothing must be earned. Your breath finds a new rhythm when you tell it. You are allowed to feel good here, without needing to hold the weight of being anyone else. Permission, then, is not about letting yourself off a hook. It's a gentle recalibration back to honesty. Like a velvet couch that holds your full body, or the cool shade on a blazing day, permission is the condition that lets the best parts of you finally come out of hiding. Maybe that's why the most magnetic people are the ones who don't force their energy into the room. They enter because they've granted themselves an inner yes, and that quiet confidence ripples into everything. And there is a reason the deepest rivers run beneath the surface, away from commotion, a reason seeds break open only in darkness, a reason the best stories are whispered, not shouted from rooftops. Flow doesn't beg for applause. It only asks for a private softness, one that welcomes the tide as it comes, without requiring it to hurry or impress. Maybe the greatest acts of abundance happen unnoticed, witnessed only by the parts of you that know you are safe, simply because you say so. So somewhere quiet inside you, there's an ancient memory that aches to be heard, a whisper beneath all the striving, like water beneath stone. It says, you cannot become what you already are. You can only remember. Remembering is what manifestation feels like when all the effort drops away. There's a reason your longing hurts less in silence. The mind spins, but the heart door is already open. It's always been unlocked, hasn't it? That's why every gold-lit vision you hold, somehow, it already belongs to you. It matters because rest was never the reward, but the homecoming. Chasing and fixing never made you wealthy. Only remembering did. The feeling that comes when resistance fades and you glimpse, even for a heartbeat, that nothing real could ever be missing from you. It's like waking up from an old dream where you were reaching for the sun, only to realize, as your eyes adjust to morning, that the sunlight was always pouring in, painting you gold before you even opened your eyes. Or like a child who loses themselves in play, forgetting for a while that they've never really left home, every giggle echoing what the soul always knew. Nothing lost, nothing left to prove. Or the ache in your chest that softens by candlelight, the way grief sometimes feels like memory, and memory becomes a gentle invitation to remember who you've always been beneath the noise. Enough, connected, whole, never separate at all. Somewhere between waking and drifting, you notice how the old stories have loosened, not missing, not erased, just softer at the edges, as if moonlight had seeped into all their corners. Breath by breath, you sense the difference, the body resting easier, the mind not grasping for meaning or fixing, a kind presence, lingering like the promise of rain or the hush before dawn. You remember the ache that once pressed tight in your chest, and it feels lighter now, the way waves pull back gently from the shore, leaving smooth sand where there once were footprints. There is nothing left to solve tonight, only space to allow. And perhaps you hear the echo of earlier hours, the invitation to see yourself as never broken, the reminder that nothing required mending. Let those words drift in again, soft as the first wind after midnight, landing where they're needed, unhurried. Time doesn't push you forward now. Tonight it moves differently, slow and wide, spacious like the arms of an ancient tree. Every moment finds you right where you are, never rushing the leaf to unfurl or the stone to remember the river's song. As every sensation is welcome here, the tiredness in your joints, the memory behind your eyes, even the hunger to belong, each one, a note in the timeless music that is you. Nothing needs to be pushed away. It can come, it can go, with the inhale and exhale of what is real. You are held by silence, by possibility, by the hum of everything aloud. Let your body feel that even nature does not hurry. What blooms, blooms. What rests, rests. Even in the darkness, the garden is alive, roots untangling themselves at their own sweet pace. In this space, your remembering is complete, not by effort, but by quiet permission. You rest inside the gentle integration that has been washing over you all along, the truth you never lost, the softness you always carried home. Let the dark room hold you. Let the soft weight of the night press gently over your body, as if the universe is tucking you in, every breath drawing permission, every exhale dissolving old armor you never needed. For a while, imagine a sunrise beginning deep inside your chest, not blinding or rushed, but golden, unhurried, a quiet light unfolding within you. Can you feel your own worth warming each cell? Your hands resting, your face soft, your heart pressing against the inside of your ribs. Open, tender, unguarded. See yourself lying in a field of tall grass at midnight, the earth beneath you steady and wise. Let your muscles loosen as if the ground is absorbing all the reasons to brace or hold back. You are safe here, not performing, not striving, simply belonging in your skin. Let the air carry away old agreements. The pressure to prove, the ache to earn, the belief that you are only as valuable as your effort with every inward gaze. Sense the quiet wealth moving in your veins, not money, not status, but the living abundance that is your birthright. Imagine a gentle golden mist settling over you, settling into your limbs, whispering, "You are welcome to receive. You are allowed to rest." Let these softly spoken truths land, no urgency. No rush, let them soak into the places that have waited the longest. I am whole at rest. I let the wealth within rise to meet my life. It is safe to receive. My gentleness makes me rich in all ways. Everything I long for exists quietly inside me. I trust the abundance that moves beneath the surface when I rest. I remember who I am. Let these words echo in the dimness behind your